Hey everybody, welcome to Farming Simulator 22. And today I kind of want to talk a little bit about what I do to check mods before I introduce them into my gameplay. This is something I've done for a long time, I think even back to FS15, when I started experiencing some weird mod issues and I started playing around with different ways of making sure I had a way of checking them, and the best way I have found, at least for me personally, is just to add them to the game and have a test map that I check them on. And I just want to go over this real quick with you guys and show you what I do. And maybe you guys have a different idea you could share with me, or let me know if this has been helpful to you. So I installed 3 mods, the Tomos Toe Jam, the Cargo Semi, and the 2020 Chevy Silverado. So these are the 3 mods that I've moved over to my mods folder. And if you go to your downloadable content and install, the new mods will usually be here at the front, which is kind of handy because sometimes they're named a little bit weird, so it's a good place to check and see what they're named to so you can grab them a little more easily. Just a side note, these are mods that I grabbed from, I think they were actually all from different websites, but I always make a um, steadfast effort to download a mod from the original download link. I encourage you guys to do the same. Not only is it respectful to the mod author, but it's also much safer to do so. That way, you're getting, the real deal, even if the mod may be trash, at least you're getting the original trash. All right, let's move on. So I have got a test map, this Elm Creek test map that I use. And I think I found this so handy to have for several reasons. It's a base game test map, so I know the map itself is solid. It is, I can have a ton of money on there, so I never have to worry about having enough cash to buy any mods I want to test or play with. A lot of different field types, so it gives me an opportunity to check, excuse me, to check tractors and different implements out before I bring them into my actual gameplay. It's just super handy to have it. Like I said, it's something I've done for a long time, and I really encourage you to do the same. Hopefully, you'll find it handy. Let's go ahead and select our mods. So we know we've got a 2020 Chevy Silverado. I think the second one was Cargo Semi. And I think the last one was Toe Jam. Oh, Tomos. There it is. All right. Let's fire up Elm Creek with our 3 mods enabled. I also do have a couple other mods that I always keep enabled for my test map, like easy dev controls, power tools, mobile work. Is it mobile workshop? And there's a couple other that I like to have available on my test map. Makes things a little bit easier if you're checking mods. So the other thing I want to mention is the console. It's super handy to have the console active because you can see in real time what's going on when you purchase and view these mods. If you don't want to do that, that's cool. You can always go ahead and run through the motions of buying the mod, maybe tool around with them a little bit, and then exit the game and check your log file. I just find it a lot nicer to be able to view them in real time. There are several YouTube videos out there on how to enable the console, so I'm not going to go over that with this video, but I would encourage you to have the console handy while doing this. Let's go in and let's check our 3 mods. So we've got 3 mods. Let's see here. We've got the 2020 Chevy, we've got the Cargo Semi, and our Toe Jam. Um, let's start with this 2020 Chevy. I'm kind of curious about this thing. So we launch our console, and I'm going to go ahead right into there. And straight away, I want to mention this. Yellow lines, you guys have probably been told this, but yellow lines are warnings, they're not errors. Now, warnings generally can be ignored. It just kind of depends on what they are. If you're curious about what warnings mean and stuff, if you do a Google search with the warnings, I have found more often than not, you'll find somebody who explains what the warning is. This one's pretty obvious. The maximum supported size is too much for consoles, and that's not surprising because this is a pretty high texture count mod right here. In fact, I think the mod itself was over 100 meg. Uh, so that's not super surprising, but I don't see any errors. That's good. No red lines, no errors. So this is a good start. Another thing I like to do is just go through and I will kind of run through the selections of the mod. Sometimes they'll throw an error while doing this. So it's kind of handy maybe not a bad idea to just run through the selections, maybe change a color or two, just to verify that you are indeed checking everything out. Everything still looks really solid. We'll go ahead and buy this truck. Yeah, I'm liking this. I would say I wouldn't have any problems. Uh, I wouldn't have any problems bringing this truck if I really liked it and wanted it into my gameplay at this point. I think it's safe to say, yeah, it's a pretty solid mod. Let's go ahead and fire it up. Oh, that sounds nice. Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Let's look on the inside. All right. All right. No dash lights. That's all right, though. Looks pretty good. Not a bad truck. Oh, I like the way that. Oh, that's kind of cool. I like the way that sounds, the way that looks. Not bad at all. Let's move on to our next one. Let's go with the cargo semi. Oh, all right. So we've already brought up a few more warnings. We can still see some fill unit configuration errors. In general, I don't have problems with those either. Again, a lot of warnings I don't have problems with. I try to limit those too, and uh, and if it's a mod that I'm just not that super into, and the tipping point is whether or not it's super clean or has some warnings, maybe sometimes I'll say, skip it. But that doesn't look too bad. Let's go ahead and bring it in. And here we go. Now we've got a few more things going on. We've got a few more warnings that have popped up. Fill types not supported. Again, not necessarily the worst thing in the world, but I definitely do not like to see these errors at all. And in fact, well, we'll go ahead and we'll buy this little guy here. But I can tell you right now, again, this is a situation, at least for me personally. I mean, I like the truck. I think the truck looks decent. Decent interior, actually. Not too bad. Let's go ahead and fire it up. Yeah, not too bad. Actually, not too bad overall. But again, as soon as I see errors, I shy away from them. And this is just not something I, want that bad to where I'm willing to put up with that or take any chances on. You guys are going to have to decide on your own whether or not certain mods, how bad do you want them, and are you accepting of errors? It's up to you. All right, Toe Jam is last. Oh, yeah. Yep. He brought up some errors as well. Now, Lua Errors, and you guys may be aware of this or not, but Lua Errors, L-U-A errors, are an instant no-go for me. If I see any Lua Errors, I, without question, just put the kibosh on it straight away, because those 9 times out of 10 are going to crash your game if you're lucky. If you're not so lucky, they're going to corrupt your game save. So, whoops, we don't want to do that. We actually want to hop on Tomos. Here we go. Let's hop on our little moped guy here. And yeah, I think it is a moped, isn't it? Because it looks like you can pedal it, and it's got a motor. And I think, at least from where I'm from and what I grew up with, that's a true moped. A true moped is something that can be pedaled and has a motor. In fact, you use the pedals to start the thing, if I remembered right, too. I guess you call it a scooter if you wanted to as well. Let's take a look at this guy. It's not the worst thing in the world. It's not the worst looking thing in the world. Again, it's... Oh, man, he's got good brakes. I'd like to get a little wheelie action on him, but can't do that. It's not the worst looking thing in the world. I just don't... Again, just not something that... If it's gonna bring errors, just not into it. Just not into it at all. And that's the basic, that's basically what I do, is go into my test map, buy the mods, check the console, see what errors they produce. If they're super clean and I like the mod, I'm going to keep it. Warnings, if I like the mod, I may still keep it. Test it out on my real gameplay. Errors, I generally don't even bother, to be honest with you, at all. So let's go ahead and let's just quit the game. I'm not going to save it because I don't want those mods in my test map save. And one last thing I wanted to show you is if you go back to the installed section, this is the easiest way if you've got a ton of mods, by the way, like I do. Just go ahead and uninstall them right from here. I used to go digging through my mods folder. I have no idea why I did that. But this is a super easy way to just get rid of those mods that I added. and you're good to go. Well, I hope this was helpful, guys. Feel free to comment. Let me know what you guys do to check your mods, or even if you or do you not even bother checking your mods? You just throw them in your gameplay and throw caution to the wind. Curious to hear from y'all. Hey, stay safe. God bless. Looking forward to hearing from you next time. See ya.